Many healthcare jobs were on the shortage occupation list of UK for nearly 3 years, that is from 2021 to 2024, and only in the recent months has all of these healthcare professions fallen off the shortage occupation list because recently what's come in is known as the ISL, which is the immigration salary list. Now, despite so many occupations from healthcare professions being on the shortage occupation list, many of you all reached out to me saying you are not landing jobs as an international healthcare professional or as somebody who has come to the UK to study and is now looking for jobs within healthcare fields. And today's video is going to debunk the 5 major reasons why you are not landing a job, but will also give you some possible solutions. So if you don't want to miss it, do not forget to watch this video all the way to the end. But for those of y'all who do not know me, my name is Nikita and I make videos about living in the UK, getting your HCPC registration, finding a job and working as a healthcare professional in the UK. And if any of this interests you, do not forget to drop me a subscribe and follow my channel on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK. So let's get right into it. So the first reason that suggests that international graduates are not able to land jobs is because of a very competitive job market within the UK. Now, don't get me wrong, UK still has plenty of jobs, but because it is so geographically smaller as compared to maybe say the US, the number of jobs that are available within the UK are obviously far, far lesser than what would be available within bigger countries like the USA. Now, as a part of this job market, what's really crucial to understand is that most of the UK jobs go out through unfamiliar routes. So they might go out through maybe say their networks. Now, this is some places where a lot of healthcare professionals from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh really lack. Because for example, if private companies are putting out jobs, they might put out jobs on obviously some of the bigger websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, Reed or many other, but they also might put it out on their personal profiles, on their company profiles on LinkedIn. And if you are within the network of these specific people, you might be aware of these jobs that go out and you might be able to apply for it in due time. Also remember that most of the jobs in the UK come with a closing date or a deadline, and you cannot make an application after that to be considered for that interview. So this is something that I've realized that a lot of international graduates are not aware about. So please network. That is one of the most important ways for you to land a job, especially if you are applying for private companies in the UK. The second reason why international graduates find it really hard to land healthcare roles in the UK is because of improper resumes. Now, don't get me wrong, having a beautiful CV is what you want, but remember that the standards for resumes or the standards for job applications in the UK are slightly different. In fact, no, they're very different as compared to our home countries, which might again be India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Philippines, etc. So what should you be doing? Firstly, remember that if you want to make a good application for a job within the NHS, which is the biggest sponsor of healthcare jobs in the UK, then you need to apply for those on specific websites, which could be the NHS Jobs website, the Track Jobs website. You also have NHS Scotland Jobs, which is a different job site for Scotland alone. But if you want an entire list of these websites and how you should be making those job applications, please do not forget to check out my entire playlist on this, because it will give you a lot more information with real steps that you can follow through. Now, again, if you've been making applications consistently over a period of time and have realized that maybe say after 40 applications, you're not landing interviews, you do need to get someone to review it. And here as well, having a one-to-one session with me can really help, because I will help you not only identify some of the key areas where you can improve your job applications, but I will also give you some reasonable tips that will help you make your applications be in level with the UK standards and which might put you at a better position to land those interviews. Now, the third reason is really poor interview skills. Now, if you've already made some really good applications and have landed in front of an interviewer, I would commend you, because that is something that almost 80% of the people are not even able to do because their applications are of really poor standard. But say, for example, if you are in front of the interviewer and you tank your interview, you bomb it, you don't answer any question well, then the whole process of making a good job application was still futile. So now let's talk about what goes wrong in an interview. Firstly, I think a lot of international graduates are unaware about how the interviews are marked. So one of the key tips I want to share with you is please see to it that you give lovely examples of your past work experiences in an interview, because this will help to show your employer that you have some of the key clinical skills that are required for roles within the UK. The second most common reason why a lot of people are not able to land jobs in the UK is because they do not research the company. Now, when I say research the company, what I essentially want you to do is, if you are applying to maybe say Oxford NHS Trust, I want you to go on Google right now, type out Oxford NHS Trust values and mission statement and see what the values are. Now, these values can be really simple. They can be things like honesty, empathy, compassion, etc. But ever so often, when I have taken an interview, I've realized that some of the people interviewing, and these are international candidates, are not sure about what these values for that trust are. So if I had to say, one of the values for our trust could be heart, can you tell me what the H stands for in it? And can you give us an example of how you've demonstrated that value? And at that point of time, I have seen so many people interviewing just go blank. They don't know what to say. And then they go out and say, I'm not sure what that stands for. So please, guys, do not be one of these people. If you go out to interview for any job, please see that you are reading the job description, the person specification, but also the values and the mission statement for those companies or NHS trusts. The fourth reason, and this is something that I think many people are aware about, but they don't know how to tackle it, is the social and cultural differences. Now, obviously, being within a profession of healthcare, you might be expected to speak or communicate with your patients in one way or the other. Now, the most easiest way to do that is obviously by speaking good English. And a lot of people will be really worried and stressed about it because they are worried about not understanding accents and things like that. And let me just reassure you, even if you have a neutral accent from India and you're able to communicate your thoughts and ideas and provide a good clinical diagnosis and a treatment plan, you should be all right. So don't worry or stress about it. But again, in terms of knowing what is culturally appropriate or socially appropriate within the healthcare context of UK, you might need a bit more experience in that area. So let me give you an example. When I was speaking to my colleague who has been recruiting healthcare staff for nearly 12 years, he said that, Nikita, it's completely fine for international graduates to not have UK experience. So for example, NHS experience when we are looking for interviewing them, because we understand that their background or their skills come from an area which is outside the UK. However, what we would like them to have are really strong clinical skills, because that is what we are looking for. We are happy to get them here and teach them some of the basics that they might need to go around in their job role and excel and become better at it. But what we really want to see is that commitment to learn, and obviously that commitment reflects through their really good clinical practice, which is missing sometimes with many applicants who are interviewing for jobs in the UK. So make sure that you have developed your clinical experience while you are studying or working in your home countries before you start making job applications for the UK. Because like I said, the social and the cultural aspects related to the job will come through. But if you have made yourself really strong as a clinically sound healthcare professional, you will have some really good examples to share with your interviewers. Now, again, for those of y'all who don't know how to answer these interviews, I do have one-to-one interview sessions with me, which you can book through my website, and I'll leave the link for that again in the description box below. And finally, the fifth reason, and this is something that I've seen so many people make a mistake with, is applying for jobs that are not eligible. Now, as you already know, in order to be eligible for the health and care worker visa, you need to meet certain salary requirements, but also there are some other requirements that you need to fulfill. So whenever you're making job applications into the UK market, what I recommend is that you make job applications only to full-time positions that are at least band 5 level salary or above. Now, why am I suggesting that? Say, for example, you have an HCPC registration and you are applying for band 3 and band 4 level jobs. The reason why you're not landing those interviews is because as an interviewer, I am aware that you already have your HCPC registration, and I am going to spend some of my valuable time helping you or grooming you to perform the duties and responsibilities of a band 3 or a band 4. And say, for example, you're up and running within the next 3 months or 4 months and you actually go on and get a band 5 job. At that point of time, all of my efforts into training you for the first 2 or 3 months have gone to an absolute waste, and I now need to go back and put out that job again to recruit somebody for that same position. This is the reason why a lot of people within the UK are quite hesitant to recruit international graduates for band 3 and band 4 level jobs. The second reason is that you do not need an HCPC registration in order to qualify for some of these posts at band 3 and band 4. And again, the UK people, the UK employers are quite keen on finding local people to fulfill these roles because, like I said, they don't need a degree, they don't need their HCPC registration for these roles. So my advice to you is please apply to jobs that are relevant to you. And again, like I said, these are full-time positions and these are positions that are at least band 5 level and above. Now, if you have any more questions about landing a job in the UK, do not forget to leave them in the comment section below and I will try to get back to them. But if you have any difficulties, do reach out to me through my Instagram or my website. Take care. Bye.